Big Bang Theory, Season 1 Episode 17. Series 01 Episode 17 The Tangerine Factor Scene. The Apartment Living Room Sheldon. Wo de Jing Shi Sheldon. Howard. No, it's Wo de Ming Zi Shi. Sheldon. Makes a hand movement with every syllable. Sheldon. Wo de Ming Zi Shi Sheldon. Copies hand movements. Howard. What's this? Repeats hand movements. Sheldon. That's what you did. I assumed, as in a number of languages, that the gesture was part of the phrase. Howard. Well, it's not. Sheldon. How am I supposed to know that? As the teacher, it's your obligation to separate your personal idiosyncrasies from the subject matter. Cultural reference. Mandarin, Chinese language. The language being learned. Expression. This opening immediately establishes Sheldon's literal interpretation of social cues and his pedantic insistence on proper teaching methods. Howard's exasperation highlights the difficulty of teaching Sheldon anything, even a simple language, due to his over-analysis and assumption of complex rules where none exist. Howard. You know, I'm really glad you decided to learn Mandarin. Sheldon. Why? Howard. Once you're fluent, you'll have a billion more people to annoy instead of me. Expression. Howard's candid and humorous. Relief at the prospect of Sheldon diverting his annoying tendencies to a larger population, showcasing the strain Sheldon places on his friends. Sheldon. My du Louis TSA. Howard. You just called Leonard a syphilitic donkey. Sheldon. My apologies, Leonard, I'm only as good as my teacher. Expression. Sheldon's immediate, and presumably accidental, insulting translation, demonstrating his reliance on Howard and the potential pitfalls of his rapid language acquisition. His quick blame of Howard is typical. Sheldon. Leonard. Why are you learning Chinese? Sheldon. I believe the Sichuan Palace has been passing off orange chicken as tangerine chicken, and I intend to confront them. Leonard. If I were you, I'd be more concerned by what they're passing off as chicken. Cultural reference. Sichuan Palace. Orange chicken, tangerine chicken. References to Chinese cuisine, specifically Americanized dishes. Expression. Sheldon's absurdly specific and trivial motivation for learning Mandarin, prioritizing culinary accuracy over larger world issues. Leonard's dry and common sense retort, what they're passing off as chicken, serves as a humorous reality check. Penny, storming in, I need to use your window. Opening parenthesis ... closing parenthesis. Hey jerkface, you forgot your iPod. Throws it out. Opening parenthesis ... closing parenthesis. What's going on? Penny. Oh, I'll tell you what's going on. That stupid self-centered bastard wrote about our sex life in his blog. Out of window, drop dead, you stupid self-centered bastard. Cultural reference. iPod, blog, contemporary technology and online platforms. Expression. Penny's dramatic and highly emotional entrance, immediately revealing her volatile nature when upset. Her act of throwing the iPod out the window is a visual manifestation of her anger and a classic sitcom display of a breakup. The content of the breakup, publicly revealing sex life on a blog, adds a layer of humiliation and modern relevance. Scene. Leonard approaches Penny's door and knocks. Leonard. Penny, are you okay? Penny, voice off, I'm fine, Leonard, just go away. Leonard. Look, I understand that breaking up with someone can be very painful. Penny. Go away. Leonard. Okay, feel better, bye. Expression. Leonard's awkward but well-meaning attempt to comfort Penny, quickly shut down by her emotional state, highlighting his social ineptitude in sensitive situations. Sheldon. Penny's emotional responses originate from the primitive portion of the brain known as the amygdala, while speech is centered in the much more recently developed neocortex. The former can easily overpower the latter, giving scientific credence to the notion of being rendered speechless. Leonard stares at him, or maybe she just doesn't want to talk. Scientific concepts. Amygdala, neocortex. Parts of the brain associated with emotion and higher-level cognitive functions like speech. Expression. Sheldon's coldly scientific and overly intellectual explanation for Penny's emotional state, reducing human feelings to neurological processes. His final, obvious, or maybe she just doesn't want to talk, is a rare moment of self-awareness and a humorous punchline. Raj, entering, hey, look, I found an iPod. Howard, it's smashed beyond repair. What are you going to do with it? Raj, what else? Sell it on eBay as slightly used. Cultural reference. eBay, online auction site. Expression. Raj's immediate, and opportunistic, appearance with the smashed iPod, showcasing his lack of social awareness regarding the context of the broken item. His intention to sell it as slightly used is a classic example of his slightly unscrupulous, but generally harmless, behavior. Howard. Apparently he posted intimate details of their physical relationship on his blog, which I cannot find anywhere. Expression. Howard's continued, and somewhat creepy, obsession with finding the blog, highlighting his voyeuristic tendencies. Leonard. What about damsel in distress? Sheldon. 12th century code of chivalry, not exactly current. You'd also have to be knighted for that to apply. Cultural reference. Damsel in distress, code of chivalry, knighted, historical references to medieval romance and societal roles. Expression. Leonard's attempt to use an antiquated concept of chivalry to justify helping Penny. Sheldon's immediate and pedantic historical and semantic correction underscores his rigid adherence to definitions and his social awkwardness. Howard. Remember to sit on your hands a bit so they're warm. Leonard. I'm her friend, I'm not going to take advantage of her vulnerability. Howard. What, so you're saying that if in the depths of despair she throws herself at you and demands you take her, right there, right now, you'll just walk away? Leonard. I said I'm her friend, not her gay friend. Expression. Howard's persistent and crude advice on how to physically comfort Penny, driven by his sexual opportunism. Leonard's strong rejection of the idea, followed by his quick clarification, not her gay friend, is a classic comedic line that emphasizes his own sexual desire while still maintaining his moral high ground. Initially. Scene. Penny's flat. Leonard, knocking and entering, hey, listen, I know you said that you didn't want to talk? Penny. I don't. Leonard, leaving, sorry. Penny. Wait. Expression. Leonard's immediate, and comically submissive, departure at Penny's curt response, highlighting his social timidity. Her sudden, wait, sets up the emotional core of the scene. Penny. Tell me the truth. Am I just an idiot who picks giant losers? Leonard. No. Penny. Okay, so I pick good guys, but turn them into losers. Leonard. Of course not. Penny. Well, it's got to be one or the other, which is it? Leonard. I'm sorry, what were the choices again? Expression. Penny's self-deprecating despair after her breakup, trying to rationalize her bad dating choices. Leonard's highly diplomatic, and comically evasive, answer, asking for the choices again, shows his desire to comfort her without causing further distress. Penny. I really thought Mike was different, I thought he was sensitive and smart. I mean, not you smart, normal non-freaky smart. Expression. Penny's genuine vulnerability and her unintentional backhanded compliment to Leonard, not you smart, normal non-freaky smart, which he awkwardly accepts. Penny. You know, and then he just goes and has to humiliate me by writing about me on his blog so the entire world can read it. Leonard. Actually, it's not all that easy to find. Penny. Yeah, really, well, my friends at work found it, my sister found it, judging by my email a number of prisoners at the Michigan State Penitentiary found it. Cultural reference. Michigan State Penitentiary, a prison, implying a widespread and potentially dangerous audience. Expression. Penny's distress over the widespread reach of the blog, dramatically overstating its accessibility, especially to prisoners, emphasizing her humiliation and sense of betrayal. Leonard's initial, unhelpful comment about it not being that easy to find highlights his social awkwardness again. Leonard. Okay, well, what exactly did this guy write? Not that I need to know the details of your sex life, I just thought, never mind. Penny. Nope, you know what, you might as well read it, everybody else has, go ahead. Oh God, I just feel so betrayed and embarrassed. I just want to crawl into a hole and die. Expression. Leonard's initial hesitant curiosity about the blog's contents, quickly backing off, showing his conflicted desire for information and social appropriateness. Penny's deep emotional pain and her defeatist attitude are palpable. Leonard. Okay, well, this isn't that bad. It just paints the picture of a very affectionate woman who's open to expressing her affection in non-traditional locales. Penny. Oh God. Leonard. Elevators, parks, movie theaters, out of curiosity, is this subway the transportation system or Subway the sandwich shop? Penny. Sandwich shop. Leonard. Doesn't that violate the health code? Penny. No, at the sub shop we were only making out. Cultural reference. Subway, sandwich. Shop, a fast food chain. Expression. Leonard's awkward attempt to reframe the blog post positively, which quickly devolves into him seeking clarification on the explicit details. Subway the sandwich shop? His concern about health codes during a discussion about Penny's sexual encounters is a classic nerd moment, highlighting his pragmatic focus over emotional sensitivity. Leonard. No, that would be underreacting. He did break the implied confidentiality of the bedroom and, in your case, the elevator, parks and fast food franchise. Expression. Leonard's protective and logical defense of Penny, correcting her impulse to apologize, and adding the fast food franchise to the list of violated confidential spaces, showing his burgeoning care for her. Penny. No, you were right the first time, this is a man who loves me, but in his own stupid way he was just trying to show people how he feels. Leonard. I'm pretty sure I never said that. Penny. No, you did better than that. You helped me see it on my own. Expression. Penny's self-deception and misattribution of a positive interpretation to Leonard, demonstrating her desire to find a silver lining and potentially get back together with Mike. Leonard's bewilderment at her twisting his words is humorous. Leonard. Oh, sure. Maybe I am her gay friend. Expression. Leonard's self-deprecating reflection, realizing his attempts to be helpful and non-opportunistic have led him back to the gay friend status he initially rejected. Scene. The apartment. Sheldon. Howard, I'm going to need another Mandarin lesson. I obviously didn't make my point with those people. Howard. For God's sake, Sheldon, if you don't like the tangerine chicken, don't order the tangerine chicken. Sheldon. I like tangerine chicken, I'm not getting tangerine chicken. Expression. Sheldon's continued obsession with the tangerine chicken debacle, showcasing his stubbornness and literal interpretation of the problem. He likes the idea of tangerine chicken, but isn't getting the actual tangerine chicken he expects. Raj. Sure. Tell us again how you screwed up and got Penny back together with her old boyfriend. Leonard. Just roll the dice. Expression. Raj's blunt summary of Leonard's failure, highlighting the friend's lack of filter and their enjoyment of Leonard's misfortune. Sheldon. Actually, I thought the first two renditions were far more compelling. Previously I felt sympathy for the Leonard character, now I just find him to be whiny and annoying. Expression. Sheldon's meta-commentary on Leonard's storytelling, applying critical analysis to his friend's emotional narrative, further showcasing his lack of empathy and his detached perspective. Penny, storming in. Thank you so much for your stupid advice. Slams door again. Raj. Incredible. You managed to screw up the screw up. Expression. Penny's renewed rage confirming Leonard's failure to fix the relationship, creating an immediate comedic reversal. Raj's succinct and witty summary, screwed up the screw up, perfectly captures Leonard's predicament. Scene. Penny's apartment. Penny. That's what I said to the woman who had her legs wrapped around his neck. Expression. Penny's blunt and shocking revelation of Mike's immediate infidelity, providing a vivid and crude image of her heartbreak and his complete lack of respect. Leonard. Oh, well, you did throw an 8 GB iPod? Yeah, no, how could he do that? Expression. Leonard's initial attempt to find a logical explanation for Mike's behavior, then quickly correcting himself, showing his loyalty to Penny despite his logical inclinations. Penny. I swear to God, I am done with guys like that. Macho, with the perfect body and the hair, and the money. Leonard. Yeah, that must get old quick. Penny. Just once, I would like to go out with someone who is nice, and honest, and who actually cares about me. Leonard. What about me? Penny. What about you what? Leonard. What about if you went out with me? Penny. Are you asking me out? Leonard. Yes. I am asking you out. Penny. Wow. Leonard. I was just going off your comment about the nice guy. Penny. No, I know, I got that. Yeah, totally. Leonard, continuing through Penny, thing and honest but, it's no big deal. Penny. Yes. Leonard. Yes what? Penny. Yes, I will go out with you. Leonard. Really? Penny. Yeah. Why not? I mean, what do I have to lose? Leonard. Yeah, that's the spirit. Expression. Penny's despair and declaration of wanting a nice guy creates the perfect opening for Leonard. His tentative and awkward proposal, followed by Penny's slightly hesitant but positive, yes, marks the major romantic breakthrough of the series. Her, what do I have to lose, highlights her low expectations for relationships, which ironically makes her open to Leonard. Scene. The lobby. Sheldon. Show me your citrus peels. Gay wo kan, ni jud dz pay. Show me your citrus peels. Gay wo kan, ni jud dz pay. Show me your expression. Sheldon's continued and repetitive practice of his Mandarin phrase, showing his fixation on the tangerine chicken issue and his characteristic vocal exercises. Penny, tapping him on the shoulder. Sheldon. Sheldon, jumping in panic. Ya. Sha si wo la. Penny. I'm sorry. Look, do you have a second? Sheldon. A second what? Pair of underwear? Expression. Sheldon's over-the-top startled reaction, a comedic physical gag, to Penny's touch. His immediate, non-sequitur question about a second pair of underwear highlights his literal-mindedness and discomfort with casual conversation. Sheldon. Why me? Why not Kuthrapali or Wolowitz? Penny. Well, Raj can't talk to me unless he's drunk, and Wolowitz is, you know, disgusting. Sheldon. Yes, I suppose he is. Penny. All I'm saying is, you know Leonard the best. Expression. Penny's pragmatic and unflattering explanation for why she's approaching Sheldon for advice, reinforcing the other guy's social deficiencies. Sheldon's agreement with the disgusting assessment of Howard is a rare moment of social alignment. Sheldon. Just the other day I discovered, he not only has a loofah, he hides it. Why do you suppose a man would be ashamed of having a loofah? I myself prefer to have my excess epithelial cells slough off naturally, but I don't condemn those who seek to accelerate the process. Time shift, and until recently I had no idea that despite his lactose intolerance, he can tolerate small amounts of non-fat ice cream without producing a noxious gas that I maintain. In the right concentration could be weaponized. Scientific concepts. Epithelial cells, slough off naturally, lactose intolerance, noxious gas, weaponized. Sheldon's detailed and overly scientific observations about Leonard's hygiene and digestive system, showcasing his intrusive data collection and his TMI approach to human biology. His theory about weaponized flatulence is a hilariously dark touch. Sheldon. Why not? We're already through the looking glass anyway. Cultural reference. Through the Looking Glass. From Lewis Carroll's Through the Looking Glass, implying entering a strange or illogical reality. Expression. Sheldon's rare, and slightly dramatic, acceptance of the illogical situation, hinting at his own intellectual and emotional detachment. Sheldon. Well, he didn't actually say anything, but when he came back to the apartment he was doing a dance that brought to mind the happy hippos in Fantasia. Cultural reference. Fantasia, Disney film, specifically, the segment with dancing hippos. Expression. Sheldon's highly visual and specific description of Leonard's elated dance, showcasing his unique way of observing and describing human emotion through a detached, almost scientific lens. Sheldon. Oh, I wish it were that simple. You see, I don't spend much time here and so I've never really chosen a place to sit. Penny. Well, choose. Sheldon. There are a number of options and, I'm really not familiar enough with the cushion densities, airflow patterns, and dispersion of sunlight to make an informed choice. Penny. All right, why don't you just pick one at random, and then if you don't like it you can sit somewhere else next time. Sheldon. No, that's crazy. You go ahead and talk while I figure it out. Expression. Sheldon's obsessive and paralyzing over-analysis of trivial decisions, demonstrating his need for optimal conditions and his inability to make a casual choice, even about where to sit. His rejection of random choice is classic Sheldon. Sheldon. A little crush? Well, I suppose so, in the same way Menelaus had a little crush on Helen of Troy. Cultural reference. Menelaus, Helen of Troy. Figures from Greek mythology, specifically the cause of the Trojan War, implying a monumental infatuation. Expression. Sheldon's overly dramatic historical comparison for Leonard's feelings, once again highlighting his academic and often irrelevant analogies. Penny. All right, yeah, I don't really know who they are. Sheldon. Well, Menelaus was the brother of Agamemnon. Penny. Yeah, I don't care, I don't care. Expression. Penny's immediate and frustrated dismissal of Sheldon's attempts at historical exposition, showing her lack of interest in his academic tangents and her focus on the emotional topic at hand. Sheldon. Leonard isn't the kind of guy anyone usually goes out with. Would you be open to rotating the couch clockwise 30 degrees? Expression. Sheldon's brutally honest assessment of Leonard's social standing, followed by an irrelevant and disruptive suggestion about furniture arrangement, showcasing his complete lack of social tact. Sheldon. The last one worked out well for Koothrappali. He got a free iPod. Oh, glare. Expression. Sheldon's detached observation about Raj benefiting from Penny's last breakup, highlighting his lack of emotional connection to the situation. His sudden glare is a classic Sheldon moment, indicating his sensitivity to minor environmental factors. Sheldon. I would not say that. No one would say that. A light year is a unit of distance, not time. Opening parenthesis ... closing parenthesis. Draft. You see people hear the word year and they think duration. Foot-pound has the same problem, that's a unit of work, not of weight. Opening parenthesis ... closing parenthesis. It's a common mistake. Scientific concept. Light year, unit of distance, foot-pound, unit of work. Common scientific units often misunderstood in popular language. Expression. Sheldon's unwavering commitment to scientific accuracy and his incessant corrections of Penny's and general public's common misconceptions, regardless of the emotional context. Sheldon. Well, let's see. We might consider Schrodinger's cat. Penny. Schrödinger? Is that the woman in 2A? Sheldon. No, that's Mrs. Grossinger. And she doesn't have a cat, she has a Mexican hairless, annoying little animal. Yip 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 yip. Penny. Sheldon. Scientific concept. Schrödinger's cat, a thought experiment in quantum mechanics. Illustrating quantum superposition. Expression. Penny's comical misunderstanding of a complex scientific concept as a neighbor, and Sheldon's immediate and detailed, and slightly judgmental, correction about Mrs. Grossinger's pet, demonstrating his inability to stay on topic. Sheldon. Anyway, in 1935, Erwin Schrödinger, in an attempt to explain the Copenhagen interpretation of quantum physics, he proposed an experiment where a cat is placed in a box with a sealed vial of poison that will break open at a random time. Now, since no one knows when or if the poison has been released, until the box is opened, the cat can be thought of as both alive and dead. Opening parenthesis ... closing parenthesis. Just like Schrödinger's cat, your potential relationship with Leonard right now can be thought of as both good and bad. It is only by opening the box that you'll find out which it is. Expression. Sheldon's long-winded, complex, and highly technical explanation of Schrödinger's cat, which he then surprisingly, and effectively, applies as a metaphor for Penny's dilemma about dating Leonard. This is a rare instance of Sheldon successfully translating a scientific concept into relatable human advice. Penny. Okay, so you're saying I should go out with Leonard. Sheldon. No, 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 no. Let me start again. In 1935, Erwin Schrödinger. Expression. Sheldon's immediate and comical regression to his pedantic ways, refusing to accept that Penny has understood the point without a full re-explanation, highlighting his inability to simplify or move on. Scene. The university cafeteria. Leonard, pointing, 2 seats right there. Sheldon, to two oriental-looking people occupying the other seats, Chong. Shou Sha Pwe. Caption translates to, Long live concrete. Xie xie. Thank you. Expression. Sheldon's utter failure in Mandarin, attempting to demand seats with a phrase that nonsensically translates to, Long live concrete. Showcasing his misplaced confidence and the comedic effect of his attempts at cultural immersion. Leonard. I can see that. Unless you're planning on running a marathon, choosing both stuffing and mashed potatoes is a starch-filled redundancy. Expression. Sheldon's immediate, unsolicited, and highly specific critique of Leonard's food choices, reducing it to a scientific assessment of nutritional redundancy. Leonard. A mistake involving Penny? Okay, you'll have to narrow it down. Expression. Sheldon's dry and sarcastic response, implying that Leonard's mistakes involving Penny are so frequent that he needs clarification. Leonard. Now that I'm actually about to go out with Penny, I'm not excited, I'm nauseous. Sheldon. Ah, then your meal choice is appropriate. Starch absorbs fluid which reduces the amount of vomit available for violent expulsion. Leonard. Right. Sheldon. You also made a common grammatical mistake, you said nauseous when you meant nauseated. But go on. Scientific concept. Starch absorbs fluid, vomit available for violent expulsion. Sheldon's immediate and clinically detached explanation of Leonard's nausea, complete with a gruesome detail. His subsequent grammar correction reinforces his pedantic nature, even in a moment of emotional vulnerability. Sheldon. Well, if we accept your premise, and also accept the highly improbable assumption that Penny is the only woman in the world for you, then we can logically conclude that the result of blowing it would be that you end up a lonely, bitter old man with no progeny. The image of any number of evil lighthouse keepers from Scooby-Doo cartoons comes to mind. Cultural reference. Scooby-Doo cartoons, evil lighthouse keepers, references a popular cartoon series and a common villain archetype. Expression. Sheldon's cold, logical, and extremely bleak projection of Leonard's future if his date with Penny fails, reducing his romantic life to a mathematical probability and ending with a darkly humorous, and very specific, pop culture reference. Sheldon. All right, what response on my part would bring this conversation to a speedy conclusion? Leonard. Tell me whether or not to go through with the date. Sheldon. Schrodinger's cat. Leonard. Wow, that's brilliant. Expression. Sheldon's attempt to efficiently end the conversation, and his surprisingly effective, and reused, application of the Schrodinger's cat metaphor, finally impressing Leonard. Sheldon. Hu zi shui zai li du. Your monkey sleeps inside me. Expression. Sheldon's final, utterly nonsensical Mandarin phrase, demonstrating his continued difficulty with the language and providing a humorous non sequitur. Scene. Leonard approaches Penny's door. Leonard. Good. He grabs her and kisses her. Penny. All right, the cat's alive, let's go to dinner. Expression. Leonard's decisive and impulsive action, the kiss, after hearing Penny already knows about Schrodinger's cat, signifying his embrace of the open the box philosophy. Penny's witty and immediate acceptance, the cat's alive, confirms the romantic breakthrough. Scene. The Sichuan Palace. Sheldon, in Mandarin, show me your mucus. Your mucus. Owner, in Mandarin, blow your own nose and go away. Sheldon, in Mandarin, this is not a tangerine bicycle. Owner, in English, crazy man. Call the police. Sheldon, in Mandarin, no. Don't call the library. Show me your mucus. Leonard and Penny are seen entering, and then leaving again quickly. Oxen are in my bed. Many, many oxen. Oy vey. Cultural reference. Oy vey. Yiddish exclamation, an exclamation of dismay or exasperation, sometimes used humorously. Expression. The culmination of Sheldon's Mandarin learning, revealed as a complete disaster. His phrases are nonsensical and increasingly bizarre: mucus, tangerine bicycle, oxen in my bed, leading the owner to call him crazy man, and summon the police. Leonard and Penny's quick exit highlights their embarrassment and the ongoing chaos Sheldon causes. The final, oy vey, is a perfectly fitting lament for his failure.